Welcome back to Josh Does Life. Okay, so in this episode we're kind of starting the series. Actually, I've already started with the first video, just kind of the announcement. But we're going to be assembling my son's first aquarium and my first time dealing or trying a freshwater planted tank. It just seems to, it had a little bit more appeal to me as something I hadn't tried before. Like I said, my background, I've had saltwater aquariums forever, and I figure as involved as I got with all that, this should be a piece of cake. I don't think I'm going to do like CO2. I'm probably, reading up, and I'm probably going to do some beginner level plants. I think I have the Phoenix light that I showed you before. So I think I'm going to have plenty of lighting for whatever I need, and I'm about to show you the soil and materials that I have, everything that'll be going into the tank. And then I'll set the camera up, and I'm not really an aquascaper in the saltwater tanks I've done. For the most part, I've, done live rock, and I've always kept it, maybe I just order as much as I think looks right. So my last tank, let's see, I had the 100-gallon in there. I probably had, I think I ordered 125 pounds of live rock, and I kind of just stacked it, until I was kind of happy with it. And the way I always did, I had it come out further in the bottom and then kind of stacked it so it trimmed back. So I'm not really sure. This is my first time really aquascaping a freshwater tank. The only freshwater tanks I've had have been a number of years ago when I was really young, and all I had was artificial stuff inside. Probably like a pirate ship, and the plastic plants and all that type of stuff. But I just really think, as I've been watching some videos and other people doing it, I think the live plants will be pretty interesting and just something different to do, and I think it'll present some small challenges, but I kind of want to, try it out and see if I can get my son into it. Like I said, this is his Christmas present. This is what he asked for. We initially thought about getting a beta tank, but it just seemed kind of boring, really. Just my thoughts and opinion. I've never really kept a beta, so I don't know a lot about them, but the ones I have seen, it looks like they're not overly active, and I might be wrong on that. It's what I've seen. They look pretty, but they just didn't move around a lot, and I just thought that we could get more colors this way, and some different experiences in life, and even inverts and things. I'm hoping to try maybe some shrimp and all too. I haven't done any of that stuff before, so like I said, most of this is going to be new to me. We're going to kind of learn as we go, and I'm going to take you along with me for the ride for most everything. The parts of it that may be really boring, I might not video, or might jump around a little bit, but anyway, that's all I'm going to say to start with, and let's dive into it. I'm going to turn the camera around and kind of show you what all I have here, and we're in my son's room, of course, and I'll show you the tank, and then we'll get started adding things to it. I'll probably put the filter on the back first to see how far away from the wall I'm going to have to set the tank, and I'll talk about some of the things a little bit more as we open them and get into it. This tank is a top fin that just came from PetSmart. It's the 36-gallon. It's a bow front. I'm not really a big fan of those, but I think it'll serve its purpose in here. It looks kind of cool for his room, even though his room is a little bit crowded with stuff. I guess what kid's room it. It did come with a top, like a plastic top. I'll show you that. I don't know. I like to have a top on an aquarium if possible. Now all my saltwater tanks I didn't, but I kind of want a top on there to cut down on the evaporation in here. So I don't know if the top of it's rimless, but it has this plastic top on it, which I'll show you. I'm not sure if I'm going to try to cut it and modify it so I can fit the light on it, or if I'm just going to do away with the top. Undecided at this point, but we'll see what I can figure out. But anyway, let's go around and take a look at the materials I have for this build. Okay, so let's start off with the tank itself. Like I said, this is a 36-gallon top fin. This is what I was talking about with the top. You know, it's just a cheap plastic top. It has a LED light in here, but I didn't think that would be sufficient to put really the plants that I want to inside. It's got a cutout for the filter already, and then it has a little feeding door access, but you know, this lid just pops right off. And like I said, this is actually rimless. I might just do away with this top. Let me know, you know, thoughts and opinions on that. What do you think I should do? What would be best? Like I said, it's been a long time since I've done a freshwater tank, and you know, I'd like other people's thoughts. I'm not sure if I just want to go across here and cut it out to have the light, or if I just want to do away with it altogether. Let me know your thoughts on that. Let's see, what else? Everything else simplistic. The back of it, I'm sorry for the reflection and all that stuff. The back of it I did paint black, as I do with most of my tanks. Came with a stand, you know, nothing fancy here. Just got a, you know, a shelf in it. But we can store some of the fish stuff. That's what I've already kind of purchased to start with. I bought the Seachem Plant Pack Fundamentals. Try that stuff out. And then I have the Flourish Excel. Just a couple things to start off with. Like I told you before, and pardon the mess, we have Legos everywhere and all kind of stuff. Gonna go with this Aqua Clear. You know, like I said, my background with saltwater tanks, I've always used sump systems and had overflows and reef ready, like pre-drilled tanks. So I've always had the sump system that's always been really nice. You can put everything in there. You know how that goes. With this one, I thought about doing a canister at first, but my experiences with the canister, you know, you have to stop the water, open them up, you know, take all the trays out and different things like that. You know, to me it was kind of like a lot of work. I mean, I know they do probably provide a little bit more biological filtration in them. You know, they have the capacity to hold more. But I think for what we're doing here that this will be sufficient. I also looked at the marine land filters. I really like those because it's super easy. You know, you take the top off that and you pull out the filter cartridge. It's the filter and carbon, like all built into one. Just slide it out and slide another one in. I love that, that's great, but then I've had times before where I didn't want to run carbon. So, you know, using that one, it just already has the carbon in it, so it wouldn't make sense. With this one, I can add what I want to, you know, so it's got, and we'll take a look at it, but it's got the sponge filter in the bottom, and then you can add carbon or not, and it's got like a little bio beads or whatever in it, you know, for our biological filtration. Let's see, what else do we have? For our substrate, we have the Eco Complete. You know, I looked into it a little bit. For the money, it seemed the best way to go. So I actually ordered 3 20-pound bags because I'm not sure how much I'm going to build up the base yet. Some people say, you know, you want really about 2 to 3 inches of substrate in a freshwater tank. So we'll, you know, I just went ahead and got 3 of these to experiment with. And also, let me get this uncovered. I also ordered 1 bag of the Carib Sea Supernatural Sand, and this one says that it is good for freshwater, so it's not supposed to raise the pH or change the pH at all. So I was thinking almost like we can do a little bit of sand in the front to give it kind of like a little, you know, like little base area, or not necessarily beach area, but just a little plant-free area in the front. But I don't know, we're going to play around with that. Okay, so I just laid this on flipped my son's tabletop over and put this, I ordered some driftwood, which has been soaking in water. Let me see if I can get out of the light some. It's been soaking in water, so that's why it looks like that. I've had it for several days. I'm not real happy in the pieces that were sent to me because I don't have them at my local fish store or anything, so I had to order these. And this is how they came in, so this is what I have to work with. Not overly pleased with them, but it is what it is. And then of course I ordered some dragon stone. I kind of like the look of it. I ordered it from Live Aquaria, and it came in all intact. There wasn't, you know, many broken pieces or anything. I think I got 25 pounds of it. So I do have some nice pieces of that. And let's see, what else do we have? And like I said before in the first video, I have a Eheim heater, and then we have the Phoenix 24/7 Planet Plus LED light. So this is going to be the makeup of our tank. So first of all, I'm going to get the filter on the back of it to see about space, and then we'll put the light on it so everybody can see a little better inside there. And then we might go ahead and start putting the substrate in it and move on from there. I'm not sure really how I'm going to do the aquascape. Might have to play around with that a little bit, but we'll take a look and see. Okay, so let's get the filter in box first, and I apologize, I hope everybody can see okay. I don't have the best lighting in here. Let's get this open. And if you've seen 100 of these or know all about them, you know, you might want to just skip forward. You know, this is kind of, you know, I wanted to show all the pieces and things like that, just in case anybody hasn't seen this particular filter before, you know, and might be interested in it. So of course you got your little instruction manual. Here we have the filter media. So it comes with your foam block, carbon, and then biological filtration. And other than that, it's pretty much like ready to go here. That's it for what's in the box. Another thing I do like about the aqua clears, and let me see here, I'll get you some different views of it so you can see. But a great thing about these is that the motor here is removable. So if that ever goes out on you, then you can just order another motor for it and be up and going again. So I think that's pretty nice too. I don't think you can do that on the marine lands. Another thing I like about these, and it has the piece inside here, but you can stick it for to adjust like how it sits on the back. So it's kind of good for all. Alright, so open this guy up. We have our tubes. And then, oh, there's that piece. And then our media basket. So, like I said, this is pretty simplistic and easy to use. You know, you just slide that in, take the top off, and then slide it back out. I like these. They're pretty nice. Also, you have let me get this stuck in here. You have adjustable flow control on it. So if you want to dial that down a little bit, you simply like just move it back and forth. If you can see it down in here, then it basically closes off part of the impeller, and then you can adjust your flow that way. So that, I mean, it's just another nice little feature of these filters. Get this guy on the bottom before I actually lose it. And that's what I was talking about, that you can adjust to your tank so you can make sure it stays level. Okay, that's got our filter. Get rid of that box. Let's see, let's go ahead and, you know, just in case anybody wants to see it, we'll open up the heater. And like I said before, you know, there's a lot of good heaters out there. You know, in the saltwater aquariums that I've had, I've used Eheim for a long time, and never had any issues with them. So I'm a really big fan. You know, I've never had one go out on me. But at the same time, when I was doing saltwater, oftentimes, you know, every so many years, I'd change them out just to be on the safe side. I've read things, you know, that over time, as the I guess the heater coils can like kind of burn down, maybe, if that's going to be correct for it. I'm not sure if that's accurate. That's just something that I've read before, and so I've always kind of replaced mine every so many years. And I used to keep, I think I had 4 of these guys down the sump, and I was running them off of an Apex controller, so I never did have any issues with the tank overheating or anything. But this will be my first time, I guess, really running them in the tank and just relying on the temperature setting. But we will we'll set that up, and then I'll put a separate thermometer on it so I can kind of monitor that too. But anyway, you just turn this dial to adjust what temperature you want. And it's got our suction cups here, and then of course it has the little light that comes on when it's actually heating up. So that will be our Eheim heater. Let me go and get the next thing. Bear with me just a moment. Let's take a look at our light here. Okay. Back this camera up just a little bit here. Alright. Let's take a look at what we have. This is my first time using one of these guys. Like I said in the previous video, I've used Kessel lighting for many years and love the way it works. Very pleased with it. This is my first time using kind of a LED bar, I guess, here. But you know, the other videos that people have posted, I've read a lot of good things about this brand. People seem to really like them and have a lot of luck with them, and I guess they'll grow about anything that you put in the tank. So I just wanted to make sure, you know, I wouldn't have an issue there. Like I mentioned before, I don't think that I'm going to do anything crazy. The plants that I put in here will probably be very basic, beginner-friendly plants. Let's see what else we got here. Get some brackets. But, you know, just in case I didn't want to buy a light that was going to be inadequate, you know, in case I ever changed my mind or wanted to add some other plants later on. So what we have here that I'm opening are just the mounting brackets. The more I think about it here, the more I'll probably just remove the top of the aquarium. I think that may be the best way to go, even though I know that will I'll have more evaporation and have to add water more frequently, but that'll be okay. Let's see what we have in here. This is probably the remote. Yeah. Oh, it even comes with batteries. Huh, that's rare. Toshiba. Cheap batteries, but batteries. Okay, so, and I'll show you the controller here just so you can take a look at it, and we will, I'll show it, of course, in action as we set all this stuff up. Again, I apologize for the lighting. It's kind of dark in his room. I actually probably need to up the wattage of his bulb. So on here we've got power, we've got, looks like some timer settings. Also has like different weather you can do, like cloudy, thunderstorm, sun, moon. Then I guess, you know, these are your different light spectrums. But we'll play around with that a little bit and check it out. Let's see what else. Let's see how these work. It appears I'm going to need a screwdriver to put these together. Yeah, it looks like that goes in there. And I'm assuming, yeah, it looks like these just slide in here. Some fairly cheap plastic mounts, but to as long as they work. Okay, so I guess we will stop here for a moment. I will plug in this light and kind of let you see it lit up quickly, and then we will move on to setting up our tank and kind of getting our substrate and things in. Okay, so here's our light, and I'm hoping it shows up on camera to where you can kind of see the 3 different color spectrums. You have your white, blue, and red. It's pretty bright, and I think it's going to look pretty good in there. I will say that these little plastic brackets for it are really flimsy and cheap, but you know, it is what it is. It'll work. So I guess next I'm going to get some damp paper towels and wipe out the aquarium, and I'm not going to actually record that, but one other little thing that I wanted to show you that I found interesting. So for this light, the box states that it is water resistant, okay, but, and let's see if it can focus in on this. So this was inside, and it basically says, ensure fixture is secured atop a covered aquarium free of splash, moisture, and excess humidity. Use caution when placing near filters and air stones. So that's definitely interesting. You know, when you have rimless, I don't think you normally have a top for them, and it says, you know, it fits rimless on the box. So that was just one thing I kind of found interesting. You know, it says it's supposed to be water resistant, but according to that, you know, it may not be very water resistant. So we'll just kind of have to see how that goes. But anyway, I will bring you back after I have the inside of the tank wiped down, and we'll start putting some substrate and things on here. Alright everybody, so this is kind of what I've ended up with right now. I'm not 100% pleased with it, but I kind of like aspects of it, and some I don't. I think it is going to look a little bit different after I get some plants in it. So kind of my thoughts, I almost wanted to leave the driftwood out because I really didn't have any pieces that I was in love with. But I went ahead and put them in because some of the plants that I've looked at, is it the Nubius and Java fern, things like that, you know, you attach to wood and rock, and I thought maybe even like some of the moss stuff. So I might look into some of that and try to attach it to the wood and see what we end up with. But anyway, that's what we have for now. Today is New Year's Day, so the pet store is closed, so I can't go get plants today, but I will get plants as soon as I can, and we will go into the next phase of this aquarium project, hopefully within a few days, maybe into the weekend, you know, when I have more time, because, you know, schedules and work and everything, sometimes it's difficult to do. But anyway, this is what we have so far. Leave any comments, you know, your thoughts. What do you think of it? Do you think it looks okay? Would you make any changes to it? You know, I'm always curious to hear what other people think. So let me know, and we will continue on with plants in the next episode. Thanks so much for watching.